Welcome, everyone, to Real Talk with Just for Girlfriends. We are so happy you're here. We have a great show in store for you. We're bringing on some men. We're going to peel back the curtain on dating and relationships. And believe me, you want to stay tuned for that. But before we get started, let's introduce ourselves for all of our new viewers. I'm Michelle Skinner. I am on the board of Just for Girlfriends. And I also serve as Just for Girlfriends social media manager. So you'll hear me say many times, please join us on social media to continue these types of conversations and to just keep in touch and see what we have going on. Robin, please introduce yourself.
I'm Robin McFarland. I am a proud Just for Girlfriends member, also a board member of Just for Girlfriends. And, based on the way the day has started, this is going to be epic. It'll be a great meeting.
I think so. Angelique, please introduce yourself to our new members.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angelique David. I am founder and CEO of Just for Girlfriends. Just for Girlfriends started in 2017, and our mission is to help women embrace self-care and self-preservation by providing unique and fun and engaging events. So if you have not heard of us, please go to www.just4girlfriends.com. Sign up for our emails, stay in touch. We are going to Nashville soon. We're going to Santa Fe. So we do trips as well as just fun activities. So it's a way of self-care.
Absolutely. And I will say the activities are things you wouldn't normally do yourself. So, and if you haven't been on a J4G event, even though a lot of them are members only, so you have to join to join us, I highly recommend it. We have thousands of satisfied customers that we've serviced over the years. So,
yes.
Okay, so, we're going to start off, ladies, by just talking about what's been on our mind. We're going to do this before we get into the topic that we have scheduled for today. So, Angelique, what have you been thinking about lately?
Sure. And I know everybody's ready to hear from the men, so I won't be long here. But really what's been on my mind is remaining calm in the midst of chaos. So there's so much going on in this world, and I feel like so much going on even for me personally in 2025 that sometimes it's easy to just get wrapped up into it. And so remain calm, finding your peace, whatever that corner of peace is, and taking things one step at a time. As they always say, you can eat a whole elephant one step at a time, although I would not recommend eating elephants. I don't endorse that behavior. But
please not. I love elephants. Yeah.
But sure enough, I was just talking to my husband recently, and we were talking about something in the future. And I said, babe, hold on. Right now, I am focused on what I need to do in the next 48 hours. I cannot think about weeks from now right now. So just remaining calm in the midst of it and getting through, because again, you can eat it, just take it one step at a time. So that's what's on my mind.
I love that advice because it almost never fails when you start thinking too far down the lane. That's when you start feeling anxious. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to control, hard to predict what's going to happen then. And you're right. In this climate today, it's sometimes 1 hour at a time, let alone one day. So
yeah. And that's okay. I think sometimes we feel like, oh my God, I'm weak or I'm not getting stuff done. No, it's okay to say, I can't address that right now. I don't have space or capacity mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually to do that right now. I can do this. And then once that's done and I get past that, I will then handle the next one.
I love that. Absolutely. And you're right. That is self-care. What do you think about it, Robin? How do you like this approach?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, because there is only so much you can do, right? And so much you are maybe feeling obligated to do, but you cannot do it. I mean, I've been in bouts where I've had like anxiety attacks because you just get overwhelmed. And so you got to figure out how to manage that. So I love that. Like 1 hour at a time, Michelle, I will say even like, let me get to 9 to 5. Like I got this first meeting
Absolutely.
I mean, let me get to lunch? Can I get to lunch and then take my 20 minutes, and then from lunch to 5, let me see how productive I can be? And some days I like that, and I think that's okay. And I am a proponent of your capacity. You need to figure out your capacity. I'm pretty good about it. I might take on less than I probably should, but I certainly have. I certainly try not to take on so much more. But sometimes we just feel so obligated to do it. I know Angelique's life, and so there's a lot going on over there. I mean, she just got a lot, and so it's good that I think.
And you're right, and that is a form of self-care.
And break it down.
I agree, and like Angelique said, it is a form of self-care. And you're right. You got to take that internal, what do I have the capacity for? And then you don't feel guilty about it. You know what I mean? If someone has a problem with that's a them problem, not you. So we're taking care of ourselves, ladies. We're putting ourselves first, and it's not selfish.
Amen.
Well, now it's time. I think what we've all been waiting for. The show is titled, What Do Men Really Want? And we have the perfect guests that have agreed to be candid, be open, and tell us exactly in various situations how we can get along better with opposite sex. How do we attract them? How do we keep them interested? And how do you sustain a long-term relationship? So let's meet the men. Let's bring them on. Hi, Daryl. The first up
Good afternoon.
is Daryl Denny. He's been married almost 30 years. So he's going to be providing some really critical insights on how do you sustain a long-term love and intimacy. Next up. Hi, Kadesh. We have Kadesh on.
Hello, everyone.
He's going to be... We hear you. Okay. He's going to be giving us perspectives on modern dating, attraction, and commitment. What are the issues going on in 2025? So be prepared for his perspective. And last, but certainly not least, we have Jamal Edwards Esquire. He is recently divorced, and he also has experience in the ethical non-monogamy type relationships. So to say the least, he's going to have an interesting perspective on non-traditional relationships. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Great to be here.
Great.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. So the first thing I want to jump in, and I'll go ahead and tell you this, you'll have questions from us, and we also are taking questions from the audience via chat. So you'll see us stop, and if someone has a question, we certainly, as long as it's appropriate, we certainly will raise that with you. But I want to start off about what draws a man in. That initial meeting, what is it? What tips do you have for the ladies? What draws a man in? And Daryl, I know you've been off the market almost 30 years, but think back to when you first met your wife.
I'm glad you gave him the setup to think back.
Way back. I think way back.
Right. Way back.
No current information.
So, oh boy. So we actually start off as friends. So, we had a probably different than normal beginning, because it wasn't a situation where I was like, hey, you saw him walking down the street or in a club or at a party. And it wasn't like that. We met at a recreation center, and over time, just having small conversations in between basketball games and talking. And we talked about different topics all the time. So at one point we realized we were friends. We started inviting each other to different things, all on a friend level. She brought her friends, me with my friends. We hang out, play cards, whatever. And then at one point we realized, hey, we probably should do a little bit more than just be friends. And here we are some 30 plus years later, of course, including dating time and of course marriage time. So yeah, it was just a different beginning. It wasn't one of those, see her out, talk to her, and then develop from there. We developed a true friendship first, and realized we would be a good couple.
That might be a jewel, though. You know what I mean? Before you commit, you get to know the person, spend some quality time with them. I like that.
And I would say also what you're saying is for people who are single, maybe you take a look at some of your male friends. That might be a different dating pool. You have to think about a little differently.
That's considered before, yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to say hello. We have a listener from Berkeley, California, and one from DC and Chicago. So welcome everybody.
Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So Kadesh, you single and presumably in those streets, as they like to say.
2025.
Yeah. What attracts you?
I know, right?
To a woman. What attracts you initially when you see someone out? Oh goodness. Do you hear me? Or is your sound messed up?
I think it might be apparent. It'd be the outer beauty.
So you were initially attracted to the. We're having trouble hearing.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
You can
Try
hear me?
it again. No, Laura, can you hear me? Is the question. We can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, we may be having technical difficulties. We're gonna come back to the single man and have him expound more. But it sounds like
Can you hear me?
Yes, but it's breaking up. So tell us again, what initially attracts you to want to meet someone when you are out and about? Oh goodness. Okay,
He's very busy.
Right, as we see. Somebody already probably watching, like, let me hit him up. Okay, hold on for a second, Kadesh. Jamal, tell us what initially attracted you.
I think where Kadesh was going and where I will start is obviously physical attraction is important. For men, right? I realize women have a different way of developing bonds, but men, me particularly, I'm very visual. And if I don't like what I see, then I'm not looking that long. So, right, you gotta be visually attractive. Now, my personal view of visual attractiveness with a woman, I also don't need a pound of makeup, so like I think attractive is beautiful naturally, not looking like a clown. I'm not trying to date, Bobo. I'm, trying to find a potential future wife. So women that overdo the makeup, I know they think they're doing this as a favor, but me personally, I'm always worried when I see too much makeup. I'm always worried about what I'm going to see when we wake up. If we there. So the physical starts first, but the physical does not keep your interest, right? It's a brief period. So for me, after the physical, it is, does this person do I feel safe? Do I feel seen? Like, do they see me, not just what they think they could get from me, but do they see who I really am? Do I feel safe being myself? And does this feel like home? Like, does this feel like someone I can be at home with? Like somebody you just feel cool around and you want to kick it with, and you want to just, somebody basically feels like a friend or like someone you've known for a long time. If those three boxes don't get checked in addition to the attractiveness check, then it's kind of game over for me.
Very short.
Oh, I love it. So you want to start with the physical, then seen and heard. And one thing that you said that you don't hear men say a lot that I love is safe. Yeah. Do you feel safe? Because we think that men aren't looking for that safety, but to feel safe. So I love that you said that word.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, men are rough and whatever, but I divorced one that was rough, and even physically abusive. So safety is important, right? Like you can't deal with. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody where I'm like running from you, or I'm having to constantly calm you down, or deflect, your various physical objects or whatever else you got going that you think is you standing up for yourself, but what you're really doing is pissing me off and making me not want to be involved.
I mean, I think that goes for anyone. And when you mentioned safe, I was thinking safe to be yourself, be vulnerable, be open.
That's true too. Like all of that comes down to safety, but physical safety, emotional safety, mental self-need. Men, we want peace. if you are not bringing peace to my home, then you need to get the F out. Like, I have enough drama, especially as a Black man in the world, dealing with everybody out there. If you're going to come home and give me a hard time just like everybody else, then no, I don't want to be with you.
That's a great point. So when we're talking about initially, and yes, I think we all cut our eye to someone who's physically attractive to us, but how important is confidence? You know, once you have started that conversation, how important is it to have like confidence or independence in keeping you interested in the woman? And you guys can go in any order, whoever wants to speak.
Is Kadesh on now?
And he's on a bit of a little
Can
bit
you
of a
guys hear me?
delay.
Okay, yes. So do you have something?
But you can't hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Well, I initially wanted to address the first question, if I may.
Sure, go right ahead.
As far as what attracts a person, you know, to the opposite sex. And me personally, I think it's obvious that it's the outer beauty that would normally attract you to someone, you know, the way they look or skin complexion, their size, their hair, whatever. But I think we all can agree that the inner beauty is what's going to keep you with them, you know, because you can meet someone that's beautiful on the outside, but their inner beauty, they're so ugly on the inside with the personality and so forth and the way they conduct themselves that you don't want to be with them at all. You forget the outer beauty. And then even it's like reverse. You can also meet someone who maybe it's not that attractive on the outside, but the inner beauty have such a good personality and such a good sense of humor and the way they conduct themselves, they actually become more attractive to you on the outside. So I just wanted to address that at first.
Right. So when you speak on someone having that inner beauty, maybe not so attractive in a traditional sense, how do you even, if you're not approaching those types of women, how do you even find out that they have a great personality?
It's a good one.
Well, with me personally, I try to be friendly to most people. I try to be a very kind and humble and mannerable human being. So that particular state and those qualities allow me to kind of get into certain veins and certain realms with people that I might normally wouldn't venture off to. So I'm able to learn more just by being mannerable and polite and so forth. And then that kind of can start a conversation that I might not traditionally have with someone maybe I'm not initially attracted to, but my kindness actually puts me in that particular area, and then we can just go from there.
That's good advice for the ladies too. Yeah,
you're gonna have a lot of women DMing you. I can see that already.
Yeah, kind and mannerable human being. So what do you think, Gerald?
I hope so. I figure. I'm sorry.
You hope so? Go ahead. You hope so? What?
No, I'm sorry. Very quickly, I just figured I was invited on the show to really spike the ratings. So that's what I'm really trying to do right now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I will say that as soon as we published our flyer, we had a lot of ladies saying our panelists were extremely attractive. So we trying to give the people what they want. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So, Daryl,
tell
us from your perspective, a woman's confidence and or independence, how does that rank in you, holding your attention?
It's very important, actually. Unfortunately for some people, you may not get to that point in a lot of relationships as you begin, and or you may not have a chance to respect that point before the relationship can really truly take off. Because to some people, confidence is off-putting early. To other people, confidence is attractive early. Some people are, tied up into some other issue unrelated to confidence. So you may not get to that point. I mean, my wife and I met in undergrad. We're just going to school and just trying to get through a semester here, semester there, do some homework, get a paper in on time, and then, start the weekend on Thursday night, So, get week by week, right? But then you meet people. Now think about yourself. You graduate, you're working, you're in the workforce, and you having conferences and seminars, you're meeting people all over the country, and then and you're single or something, and then you're like, man, you meet all these educated professional women. That's a different mindset in that type of meeting environment, if you will. So yeah, I mean, when you start getting on the professional scene, you're still single. You're going to meet a totally different type of woman than you met in undergrad, or just hanging out, different places. So yeah, I mean, confidence is important going forward, because you need a partner and you want somebody to have your back, right? And you got to deal with what you want as a man as well. I mean, some men just don't want that because of the way they were raised, and or things that they dealt with as they grew up, and men in their life, dads, uncles, whatever the case may be, or just an old school way of living where the man does everything and the wife not so much. Everybody has a different mindset as to what kind of relationship they want to be in. And so our confidence can be very off-putting to a lot of guys. I know a lot of guys that don't like strong women so much, And so, yeah, I mean, I think, for me personally, I think it's a great thing to have, because if you're away, things are still being taken care of. I mean, it's just holding down the fort, and you can't do that if you don't have any confidence, So that's what I appreciate about it.
Absolutely. And Jamal, you are a very confident man,
Yes.
very outgoing. How does that rate with you? Do you like a confident woman, or you like someone more shy and quiet?
No, I can't deal with shy or quiet. No surprise. You guys are my friends for a reason. I can't do that because that's just not how I'm wired. I do get that there are some men that would prefer that, a more demure, quiet woman. I don't want one of them loud all up in your face and boom, boom, boom. I don't need that either. But like what Daryl was saying, like I need there are some women I think that are looking for daddies and not husbands. Right. I'm not trying to be somebody's daddy. I already got a kid. I ain't trying to be anybody's daddy. I'm trying to be your partner. I'm trying to be your husband. So if you're not confident enough in what you bring to the table, or confident enough in our relationship, or confident enough in even our future plans, such that you can execute on some part of the plan without me, then what I'm getting is a dependent, not a partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
A partner is somebody where we enhance each other's lives, where, my life suddenly, whatever stressful it could be, and I know all y'all get stressful lives. I'm a single daddy, so it's stressful, right? Like my life suddenly gets less stressful, not more stressful. And if you don't have the confidence to step in and say, okay, let me see where I can fit in and how I can help build on this future we have together, then you're basically not looking for a partner. You're looking for somebody to take care of you, which is a parent. And that's not something I'm trying to be anymore. I tried that. It didn't work.
So let me follow up with that, because sometimes, and I love someone said the difference between confidence and argumentative. So that's kind of what you were talking about. But my follow-up question is this idea of, because you started going down the line of this idea of kind of equally yoked, being able to take care of each other, get things done. What if, from a career perspective or from a confidence perspective, your woman is at a higher level, per se, than you? How do you feel about that?
Me personally, I would love it. I'm waiting on it to happen. I would love it. Just to say, because I like a break too. Like there's some men out there, like I'm sick of slaying dragons and leaping tall buildings and paying all the bills myself. So if there's a woman that can come into my life and can say, hey, I got you. I told my ex-wife, who wanted to be, kept woman, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, if you start bringing in $250,000 or more a year, like I will be the best butler you have ever seen. You can bring dinner parties and your client dinners, and we will not only will you eat mac and cheese. You will it'll be mac and cheese balls and gourmet meals and whatever. I don't really care at this point in my life, but that's also because I'm old enough to recognize that nobody can do everything. And that there are women out there that have something to offer, career-wise and financially. And a lot of them are struggling because there are men out there that are intimidated. I am not intimidated. So y'all rich ladies out there that want to know how to be wives, you can't decide you don't want to help make a home. Like, I don't want that kind of woman. But if you know how to make a home feel nice and homey, and you got some money and you don't mind, if you want to, I have no problems with it, because what my goal is for life to get better for the both of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
By any means necessary. Like, I'm the Malcolm X on the team success for a marriage. Like, so if it means you got to be the breadwinner, that's fine. Long as we are growing as a couple and our family is growing, I don't really care how it happens. I will play whatever role I got to play.
You hear that, ladies? I
love
think
it.
we got 2 inboxes open on here.
Whatever role. And I got a question around timing, right? Because I foresee that if you're younger, I don't know timing. So as you're older, dating older, looking for a partner older, is there a time where you say, man, I've put enough effort into this and I'm just gonna move on to somebody else? Do you have rosters? Like, how does that all work as you're dating?
Little Black Book.
Little Black Book. Okay.
Okay, that's still in effect. The Little Black Book.
Yeah, I know some Little Black Books are still in effect. I've seen one recently, which is a very strange. I thought it was strange because I was like, well, you got a black book, but yeah, I guess they didn't want it in their phone, right? So they had the Little Black Book, right? So do you have rosters? I have some young, early 20s young kids, and so they tell me about rosters all the time. So they're working in this roster mentality right now because they know they're not ready to do anything. But I just wonder, as you get older, I've also known some older people who in 60 days they were married, right? He was like, I'm old, I don't have time to be playing around.
60 days.
Right, 30 days. He was like, I don't like this one. Another 30 days. He was married. Like, and I was like, what? Right. So I don't, so I just wonder at a certain age, how long does it take before you say, I've tried to get to know you, and it's not working. Is that, do you feel it out, or do you look up and it's 6 months and you say, man, that was 6 months of my life?
I'm ready.
So is the summary of the question, how long before you cut them?
Yeah.
Well, one of us has not done a cut. Another one has done an official cut. So as the official cutter, I will say, like, I think particularly in the more mature generation, I will say that there's a benefit to cutting early, because I look back and think I spent 7 years of my life and there were a lot of good things about it, but all in all, like, had I cut sooner, had I recognized and accepted the signs and flags sooner, would I have moved on? And certainly would I have had a happier experience, because my divorce was not cute. Yeah. So I think there's something like, I'm sorry, we're all too old at this point in life to be fucking around and finding out. Excuse my expression. I don't know if I can say that. I just
FAFO.
That's what we'll say. Yeah.
Yep, I don't have it anymore. Now, 20 years ago, I had it, and look where I am. Right. Almost 50, and I'm still trying to find out. So I'm not going to do the fuck around part no more.
Okay.
You get about 30 days, a couple of dates, and that's about it.
Okay.
Kadesh, have you been married before, Kadesh?
No. Kadesh is an eternal bachelor so far.
Kadesh is frozen.
Kadesh is frozen.
So Kadesh, how long before you decide this is not working, I'm moving on? Can you hear us?
I think he's got bad Wi-Fi.
And he's on a 10-second delay, so we know it takes him about 10 seconds.
Hello?
Yes. Did you hear the question? Oh goodness. Yeah, we're having a problem with the Wi-Fi right now.
Technology is not always our friend.
Not always, with the best intentions. So Daryl, we're not going to even ask you. But before we move on, I wanted to do a lightning round. So hopefully Kadesh can join us shortly. But without giving it too much thought, I want you to tell me, what is a turn off when you see or in an early part of the relationship with a woman? And also, what is a turn on? So there's two things. What is something that women may not know that's extremely attractive? And what is a red flag, so to speak?
For me?
Yeah. both of you,
Oh.
actually. So Daryl, you go first.
Okay, so early on, I would probably say something in the way of being combative, for lack of a better word. I mean, just arguments sparking up over every little thing or any little thing. For instance, you said you're going to call at 5. I called at 6:30. You know, you said you're going to meet me at the mall at 1. I get there at 1:15. You know, this little stuff that is always just a problem. Or you get off work a little late, and just little stuff, and it's always an argument as opposed to, oh, no problem, yeah, let's move on, let's go ahead and go. I mean, you're ready to go, things like that. Those are turnoffs for sure. They're just early stage argumentativeness is the problem because it's only going to get worse, right? But on the turn on side, I think the generosity or reciprocity, even either one of those two are turn ons on the front side. You know, especially being a young college guy, maybe you don't have money to go out to dinner this week, but she does. And she's like, I got you. You don't see that early on in dating in a lot of places, right? Especially, 30 years ago, right? So, but you get that little thing and you appreciate that, or you just flat out, hey, look, babe, I can't do it this week or this month. I said, okay, that's no problem. We can just hang out and do this and this and this. There's no issue.
Hmm.
Things like that mean a lot when you're beginning because,
Yeah.
as you guys know, I mean, it's not always, glory days when you're together. And it's going to be good days, bad days. And how are you going to cope? And if you can recognize that early, it's a win. You got to put that on the win column and ride that a little bit. So those are my things, whether it be generosity or reciprocity. I kind of use them interchangeably in a way. But yeah, that's a great turn on because that shows that you can get through the normal.
Mm-hmm. And that's funny that you say that because we've been seeing a lot lately, especially on social media, where women have these certain demands, to even date or date a man. And a lot of them, when I read them, are like, wow, good luck to them. They have all of these criteria.
Yeah. Right.
And reciprocity doesn't seem to be on the list. So I like that. Ladies, I hope you're listening. Not being so demanding and stepping up and taking your man out for evening. It ranks high up there. Jamal, quickly, without thinking too much, turn on and turn offs.
Yeah, well, I'll echo everything that Daryl said because I agree 100%. And my turn on, turn off is the two sides of the same coin, right? Rigidity, the ones that are like, well, I don't do that, or I don't go here, or I'm only going to do it the way I've been doing it for the last 20 years, or the way my mama told me. I understand, I know your mama's sweet and kind, but like you might have been wrong. Like, and then your mama's not in the marriage. So if you like your mama so much, go marry your mama. Okay. I just know what to tell you. But so that's a big turn off when women are just super rigid and not willing to try new things or, consider a different approach, particularly if it seems like it might be building our approach as opposed to yours versus mine. It's not a jockeying, like, let's just figure out what works for us and our relationship in our house. Right. But on the other side, the open-minded ones, sort of to same Daryl's point, if there's a woman that comes and says, I never did that before, or, that's really interesting, or, hey, I'll try that, or guess what? I got some stuff that maybe you might want to try. That kind of, I think it's generous, it's open-minded, it's, kind-hearted. I think that's a huge turn on.
I love that. So Kadesh, welcome back. I don't know if you heard the question or not, but real quickly, without giving us too much thought, we want to know when you're early in a relationship or getting to know someone, what is a turn on, and then also what is a turn off?
An early turn on to me is a woman's submissiveness, just willing to take her stance in her traditional role, using her femininity to actually, spawn a flourishing relationship. And my turn off is, I think sometimes, to be honest, the mentality, like, I'm a strong Black woman, I'm independent, I don't need a man for nothing. I think that kind of creates competition in a relationship, unwarranted competition, and challenges that me personally, I don't want to more or less address at that time. I like a woman to use her femininity, because really a submissive woman can get anything out of a man, but a woman has to know how to use her femininity to kind of address certain issues, kind of let the man be a man, and then you ultimately gonna get, and that mentality.
That's wow. That's a whole nother show. Okay. So I want to dig into it a little bit because I think what you're saying is positive, but you're using sort of these what I call dog whistles that can get women riled up. So submissive.
Look, one right here.
Somebody get
One
riled up.
riled up right here.
Well, and the interesting thing is, because he talked about traditional, right? So they call them trad wives now. Have y'all seen that? That's a trend, right? Have y'all seen that? So that is a thing, right? It's a thing. It's valid. It's a thing.
It is.
So I get what you're saying, because I'm seeing it all the time out and about. And I got another question, like, where are y'all finding? So where you find these women? Are y'all on apps? Are you paying for apps? Celebrity apps? Are y'all out in the,
Before we get
club or bar or something? Or
let's get back to the submissive.
We will go to that. So I just want to make sure we're clear so that you get the right type of woman in your inbox trying to know more about you. When you say that,
I tried to help you, Kadesh.
I need a little bit more clarification on this, and so do the ladies watching. When you say submissive, I want to make sure we're clear on what you mean. So I don't know. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Tell us again, what to you is a submissive woman? What do you mean by that?
A woman more or less willing to compromise and come together on issues that we both can kind of get an understanding on, versus being so independent and strong and black by yourself. You don't need a man for nothing. So my presence is kind of downplayed, so to speak. I like a woman to uplift her man and understand a man's value in life, and then kind of incorporate that with her dealings. That's what I mean. Not so submissive, doing everything I want. I don't want a woman like that, but at the same time, just using your femininity to be what you need to be.
Okay, well, that's different. I don't think that's submissive. I think that's cooperative, and that's working together. When I hear submissive, I think you want it your way or the highway.
Well, that's a word. That's synonymous. That's synonymous with the word I'm saying.
You want it your way or the highway? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you mean?
I'm sorry?
You said it's got to be your way or the highway?
Me?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, what are you saying? Are you agreeing with?
I feel like he said what he said. I mean,
is it your way or the highway?
Is it your way or the highway?
Or is it cooperation?
Or you could answer my question.
We're talking to Kadesh, yes, Mr. Kadesh Ware.
Kadesh, what?
Yes.
Oh no, it's not my way or the highway whatsoever. Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. My God, no. Absolutely not.
Okay. So it's cooperation. It's working together. It's doing things together, not just feeling like, oh, I'm independent, I don't need you. Of course, I don't think that's the way either. It's more of, let's do this together. That makes sense. Okay.
Well, Jamal was going to say something. What were you going to say?
Submissive gets a
willing to compromise.
And I'm not. I think I understand where Kadesh is going. So I'll throw out an example, an analogy that was given that makes the point to me, because I think submissive, when I hear it, it means I hear deference. So deference, and it works both ways in a couple, to each partner's strengths or roles in the relationship. And if you take a traditional one, as an example, there are certain expectations of men. There's certain expectations of women, not just because of who we are, but because of what we naturally are better at. And the example I got was, if you ladies are out one night, maybe you had drinks, maybe you had dinner, maybe you had nothing. But if someone runs up on your car as you're getting in, is your expectation that your husband or your man gonna go defend you or is it that you gonna go duke it out and husband can get in the car? The answer is, I hope your expectation is that your man's gonna go and handle that. Right? Because that's what men are good at. Not that women are not, but we're generally more better at kicking some butt, right? And so if we are in the lane of, in my lane, I would prefer a woman who says, I'm going to defer to you. We're going to talk. We're going to have some conversation. We're going to get some consensus. But if it's in the lane of what you, husband, are probably better at in our relationship, I'm going to defer to you. Just like if it's on the other side and we're talking about, because, you know, Michelle, y'all know I'm a hothead sometimes. So, you know, if I got a spouse who's like, babe, let me handle this because, you know, you're going to go off and we're going to get kicked out of here. I'm going to say, because particularly if that's our goal is staying out of trouble, I'm going to say, you know what, babe, go handle it. Let me go check my manhood ego and go sit my ass down because I know that's your role. If we're going to stay married and stay out of jail, I need a woman who's going to be able to say, let me de-escalate because I'm the dude that's going to go for it.
Right.
That's who I am. And we're going to be in lockup. So I think
I'm right there with you. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. No, you know, Michelle, you know, now y'all both know I can pop off if I, you know, get provoked the wrong way. And that's not healthy either for me or for my marriage. So I think I look at, instead of saying submissive, I look at deference because it goes both ways. Okay. Can we defer to each other when we're operating in our God-given and our developed strengths? Because some of them are natural. Some of them are just what we've developed because of who we are and what we become good at. And I can do that. And I definitely don't want a woman who can't do that back.
That makes sense. Kadesh, everybody's taking up for you. You even have some followers saying, Kadesh, don't fall for that trick bag. So you've got some followers trying to help you out with that submissive.
Submissive is a loaded word now.
It's a loaded word.
A little bit more.
Yeah, so you gotta,
we might need a part 2 because I don't think we're going to get to the last section given the time.
Well, can they answer where to find them? Where these ladies can find them? At the bar, at the restaurant, at work, where networking? Where are you finding you? Or being like you?
Well, one of us shouldn't be looking, so
one is not looking. Daryl is not looking.
Go ahead, Daryl.
Sorry, Daryl.
Church.
Yeah.
Where are your friends? Your single friends? Where are they finding women that they are interested in? You can give us that.
Oh,
you know.
I mean, well, some guys are still hanging out at bars and trying that route. A lot of people are meeting through some kind of professional thing. You know, conferences, free, like, you know, attorney conferences, some kind of bar association thing, some kind of seminar. A lot of guys doing that. Amazingly, I know a lot of people on dating apps. Surprisingly, a lot of people are on dating apps. It kind of shocked me, actually. But I know guys that are doing that, and female. I know men and women who are both on dating apps trying those out. I would imagine church could be good. Yeah, I mean, and just in a just in your everyday part of your day, whether, you know, you're out at work, they work in a totally different industry, but you're all downtown, and you might happen upon someone in line at a coffee shop, and something happens where a conversation starts. Next, you know, you're exchanging numbers. So I've seen that where it's just being in the area of professionals and dating shops, restaurants, waiting on an elevator, and on an elevator. I've seen, you know, I've heard of people meeting like that as well. Different areas of a certain office building. You know, someone's in accounting, but you're in law or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are the things that everywhere. I hear of most recently.
Everywhere. So out and about though. Like sounds like a lot of out. You people got to be out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Where you find people putting your black book?
Look, I get rid of the black book a while ago when I got married. You know, not that the black book got rid of itself, because then people still pop up when they want to. But I don't like the apps. I'm on Tinder somewhere, and I think I'm on it, but I'm terrible. Like the apps, I've just never had a really good experience. I think in, you know, however long they've been out, maybe I've had one or two out of a ton of, swipes and messages and maybe even meetings. So I like to meet people in their natural habitat. I like to meet out and about. Hopefully our natural habitats coincide. Like that's what I really like. You end up being in something that I'm really into, or you're at a restaurant I really like, or we're out at a club. I mean, I do like to dance and party, and Michelle knows that. I don't drop people no more, and I don't have my friends sliding across the floor anymore.
You've calmed down quite a bit.
Calm down a little bit, but I do like to, so I'll do that. And like, if I can see how you behave in public, if I can see whether you're kind in public, if I can see whether you're funny, if you have friends, you can't see that on the app. So I just feel like it's a waste of my time. But I'll add one caveat to the whole public thing. And for the ladies that out there, because what I cannot stand more than anything, and I don't care, man, I don't do it myself. When people approach you out in public, I hate the people when you approach them out in public, knowing good and damn well they look in the network or meet somebody or whatever, and then they give you attitude like, oh, really? Oh. Don't do that. Like, we all out.
Let it be open.
Y'all all out.
We're trying to find somebody. I'm not your cup of tea, or you're not mine. That's fine. I'll be like, hey, thank you, whatever, and hope you enjoy the drink, or maybe we could be friends or whatever. But the people that do the see and be seen and stand in the corner, when somebody finally speaks to them, are like, oh, well, I want you to spit a line that's gonna be corny as hell. Y'all ladies know y'all don't really want the lines; they're terrible. So that's the downside of the in-person meetings, that people often act off-put when you go walk up and speak to them as a stranger.
Right. Kadesh, where are you meeting the ladies, or where can the ladies meet you?
Yes. Well, in a traditional sense, I mean, you hear going to the grocery store or go to the library anymore, so that hasn't worked. And I go to my local grocery store twice a month, and I haven't met a soul I want to marry there. So it's like I'm trying the app thing right now, I'm trying the app thing right now, social media, and I'm on a couple of apps, and they're unsuccessful. I don't get it, and I'm just as shocked as the viewer and listening audience that I am single. I get it. I'm beyond shocked, just like you are, but yeah.
You gotta love a brother who's
I don't get it either, trust me.
Absolutely. Right.
Somebody said health food stores, parks, conferences. So
parks?
Parks.
What kind of meeting are they trying to do at a park?
That sounds like a date you already
Then you go for a walk on the walking trail.
That's after you met, but I ain't trying to meet nobody in the park. We're not doing it in the bushes on the first meeting.
You're gonna get maced. Believe me, you approach me on the trail, you're getting maced.
Right. Well, if I'm walking my dog, but that's
I will do something in the park on the first night. That's my problem.
Oh,
I will too, but we're not going to be getting married. That's for sure. If we go that route, then you best believe that's not.
Okay, wait. Back to Kadesh. Kadesh just said that's his problem. Right. Kadesh just said that's your problem.
Yeah, that's what he said.
If they go too far,
What now?
If you're going to third base or hitting home run in the park, you're saying that's a problem. Not just saying
he said that's his problem.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, I misheard myself. Okay, so you trying to meet somebody in a park.
Well, the park is a good spot based on the suggestion. So that sounds like that's a good spot.
What I would traditionally call a floozy. That's what you're looking for.
Well.
Okay.
Well, I'm single and I'm 52 years old. I'll take anything right now. A park, a driveway, anything.
Let me tell you, you don't want the floozy. I'm gonna tell you.
He's 52.
You sure I don't? I don't know what I want at this point.
So you open everything. Okay, you open.
All right.
Kadesh, you want anything.
At this point, yes. All options are open. Anything, yes. It's weird, but yeah, anything. In a nutshell, anything.
Okay, wait, you speaking out of both sides of your mouth because you started off as a very kind soul.
He's still kind.
Everybody.
He's still being kind. He's being honest.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I
time
think he,
for everyone.
I think
Right.
he's one like many of us who are probably like, you know what, I need to be a little bit more open and flexible because whatever I've been doing ain't working.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So more open and flexible. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But I'm still not taking no floozy from the park. So
Okay.
y'all can go call Kadesh. I did that already.
I just feel like people are running through the park. They're walking dogs through the park.
We're
Like
not
you
doing that.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Nobody could meet in the park. So automatically the park means.
I mean, I'm not against going to the park on a date. To me, it seems kind of seedy to me. Like I feel like that's the place where I'm in communing with nature. I'm walking my dog. Like that's not the place where I'm trying to be.
Where you gonna pick up somebody? Okay, gotcha.
And I know some other stuff that happens in parks. And
I've heard about things in park. Yes.
Our listener said that she could be jogging, painting, or meditating in the park.
Right, and I wouldn't bother her if she was doing any of the three.
That's a man, no. He's saying he would meet somebody jogging if she's jogging, painting, or meditating. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a man saying that.
Yeah.
Like meditating, you really shouldn't
or meditator or a painter. I wouldn't.
You're gonna get maced.
And painting,
approach carefully.
Focus. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Right.
I'm macing first, asking questions later. So yeah, approach.
Right.
Yeah, parks have a bad connotation. They had a bad rep.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not invalid. It's valid. I mean, I recognize some people could do it.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things you said, and we might have to do a part 2 that we didn't get to.
Definitely in a part 2. I got so many questions we didn't get to. Yeah.
Was when the way you introduced everyone is you had an interesting introduction for Jamal. I wanted to understand what that was.
Yeah. Can you tell us, Jamal, you are and have participated in ethical non-monogamy, right?
Sounds like I engaged in something illegal, but yeah.
No, just tell us what it is and how, women who may be interested in that, how can they learn more? Real briefly, because we got a baby about 2 minutes.
I mean, I've been a sex educator, so I learned about it through that process. But my ex and I, we were ethically non-monogamous. I wish I could say that was the reason our marriage didn't work. That was not it. But ethical non-monogamy is different than cheating, right? Ethical non-monogamy is we're ethical. You have a conversation. You talk about what your boundaries are, what you might be interested in. My personal preference is it was always stuff we did together. Like I didn't do a lot of stuff. It wasn't let's go have a free for all on our own. I just, it's nice to experience things with a partner and learn things. You'll learn things about your partner sexually that you won't learn when you're involved with other people because there are things people do that you don't do, which is also a nice relief in a marriage or a long-term relationship because some of the stuff I don't want to do, other folks want to do. And I'm like, good, I love you. I want you to have all that. Go for it. I'm not doing it, but I want you to get it, So it's an ethical and healthy way, and I think it only works in relationships where you have strong communication. Because to make it ethical, you have to talk a lot about what you like, don't like, what made you feel good or not, or what the boundaries are. And in theory, you should have no reason to cheat if you can be honest about what you're looking for outside of what you're getting from your partner. But you got to be able to be honest and willing to talk about it. So that's kind of what it is in a nutshell.
And is that
great
term?
This is great teaser for the next show.
Y'all both
the new term versus polyamorous? Like, is that?
No, so polyamorous, ethical not. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of like subdivisions, sort of like the Christianity, like there's a whole bunch of denominations, right? But ethical non-monogamy is the idea that you can have a partner with whom you're committed. And you can also have other kinds of relationships that enhance that relationship so long as you're ethical about it. Polyamory is more about having feelings for other people, like people that actually might feel like they love other people, swingers, and people are like just want to have the extra sexual variety. And there's some folks that want to have, the people that want to have multiple wives, multiple husbands, all that kind of stuff. There's all that whole gamut.
I think we're going to have another show because, like you said, this is a huge topic, very interesting. I think we're going to have a separate show on all of that to educate people, find how they can find out.
And then that way, because then I can have my friend join who wrote the book for Black people on ethical monogamy.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a must-have. So
Kadesh looks intrigued. Are you intrigued, Kadesh?
He did kind of. I saw a little sit up. A
He
little
perked
bit.
up. You saw him perk up. I didn't see that.
Nice frozen.
Nice, Rosa.
That's okay. So before we
Saved
go,
by the freeze.
right, we usually do a segment called Girl Chat, where we literally save lives. People have these questions, and we give them great advice. Now that we have you on, and in the vein of this show, I'm just going to say it real quickly. We have 1 minute. So, wait, before we go, someone says book title and author. The person that wrote the book, do you have that in front of you?
The African American Guide to Ethical Non-Monogamy by Taylor Sparks. TaylorSparks.
Okay. So,
Michelle, your video went off.
Lord have mercy. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear
I'm
you.
not sure what happened with the video. I'm so sorry, guys. But real quickly, here's the question. So, this is someone who wrote in. Recently, I've been interested in a guy, and after some encouragement from my friends, I decided to approach him. It turns out that he felt the same way, and now we have a date planned. So here's the question. When it comes to paying for the date, what is the best approach? Should they split the bill, or should he pay because that's the traditional approach, or should she pay because she approached him? What do you think?
All right. Can we hear from the guys?
Easy answer. My answer is, especially on the first date or whatever, whoever initiated. If I asked you out, I'm paying. If you ask me, then we either splitting or you paying.
Okay.
Answer.
Daryl?
Good answer.
You agree, Daryl? Kadesh?
Me, I typically like to pay on the first day, but if she suggests that she should pay, I like that. You know, that's just as well. That's just like paying to me to make a strong suggestion. Then I say, no, that's fine. I'll pay. You know, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good as well.
Well, I haven't, I'm married too, so I haven't dated in a long time, but I'm thinking I probably would
That's cool.
leave the check and see who reached for it first.
Oh, that's old
So
school.
you want to play games. You play games.
See who reached first.
Good.
If he never reaches, then I'll go ahead and do it. But if he reaches, I'm gonna say, "Oh, thank you. This was great."
Yeah.
I like that approach. I'm thinking if I approach you, I'm going to pick up the check, but you're gonna get some points if you say, "Oh no, I got that."
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is
But
generally
that's
what's
kinda
going to happen if you offer it.
That's usually
That's
what
my
happens.
point. Yeah, that's my
That's
point.
the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see.
Then
what
we're going
happens.
right to the park right after that. Right after dinner, we're going to the park.
Right.
You pay for the day. You were so impressed. I'm going straight to the park after that.
Oh, right to the park.
Oh Lord.
I don't know, guys. I like to think though. I like to think even if she asked me out, I would be prepared to pay for it and probably reach for it. And if she said, "Oh no, I actually got, I'll pay," then that's fine too. But I think I would naturally be prepared to pay for it and actually reach for the check when it comes.
Okay.
I'm prepared, but I'm gonna do like Angelique. If you ask me, I'm gonna at least wait and see if you grab for it. And I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna get it anyway. But the
Right.
one that's
You're gonna wait
reaches
to
for it, says, "Hey, I asked," is gonna be the one I'm definitely gonna take out again. The one
Okay.
who just don't and wait is the one that's going to the park, or maybe we're not going out again.
Yeah, that's a testing moment right there. That's the first test,
Yeah,
right?
at the park.
Oh, that is so funny. So someone, one
Right.
of our listeners says she pays if she asks. So that's sort of me too. If I'm asking you out, I'm prepared to pay. But if
Right.
you, I'm not going to fight you if you say, "No, I got that." So,
Right.
okay, gentlemen, are you interested in doing a part 2? Because I didn't even get into the how you make it last and intimacy questions. We would love to hear your perspectives on that. Are you open to coming back on?
You know me, I'm so shy.
It's a yes for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's
Kadesh,
awesome.
how about you? Are you willing to come back on so we can get to the second half of our questions? I think he's still
Definitely, I am.
Okay, great. Okay.
All right, Kadesh, on the next one, we're gonna need you to have better Wi-Fi because we got some digging to do with you in this park. Okay.
Yeah, a whole bunch more digging to do. Absolutely. And I got to figure out.
Yeah, I know, right? That might be one of the reasons. That might be one of the reasons why I'm single. I don't know how to work a damn computer. You know.
I
We're
love
gonna work on that. That is a red flag. But I can't talk because somehow my camera stopped working in the middle of the show.
I know, right? Dang.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you are.
okay. I don't know. This is so weird, but right. So yeah, we both got a little bit of work to do before the next show. But thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
Thank you.
yeah, this conversation was great. I will be in touch so that we can link our schedules because we have. I mean, there's so much more that we have to talk about. But thank you for your honesty. You guys were open. Didn't shrink back from any of the questions. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm sure our listening audience and the viewing audience, as Kadesh says, feels
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah.
So we have to run. We were a little bit over. But just want to say to all of you out there, if you like the show, please give us a heart. Please share it with your networks, with your friends. We want people to watch, to tune in, to watch, add questions in the chat because we go back and we look at that chat.
Yes.
And look out for part 2 coming
Yep.
soon.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
guys so
you.
much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys later. Thank